Hi everybody, Emma here. Just wanted to check in before we start the video and put out there a content warning because I know I don't do these often, but this episode is kind of a lot. Be warned that it involves storylines dealing with pregnancy, like disability, trauma, the intersection of illness and pregnancy, and child death. So if that's going to be too hard for you to deal with, that is totally fine. Take care of yourself first and foremost, and we'll see you on another game, or next time, or whenever you want to check in with us again. Okay, take care of yourself out there. We are live! Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, happy time zones, wherever you might be. I'm Emma, and welcome back to the House of Hubris, here on twitch.tv/Sarasant. Welcome back to me changing things live on air, because that shouldn't still be showing in the background. Ooh. Nothing you can see right now has changed, but be safe in the knowledge that something has. And welcome back to the Moon, SigCorp, whatever we were calling it, series. Now on episode, well, I don't know what it's technically called, episode 3, but yeah, game 3, episode 2, we're playing Impostor Factory, and this time, hopefully, I've changed my settings around a bit so that I should not fall asleep, is the plan. So, if you were here last time, we are playing the wonderfully named Quincy Reynard, who is at a mysterious mansion for some reason, for a party, for something. But people keep dying and time keeps getting reset and things are very strange. And there's a sink that might be a time machine, or maybe just he travels to a different timeline every time he closes his eyes. It's difficult to tell. Also, there are many characters with many voices, some of which I don't remember, so we'll see how that goes. Clicking the continue. Oh no, this is panicking Quincy. Right, what was going on? Why are they panicking? Can I leave? Can I just leave? I can't just leave. Love to say I knew where we were leaving, where we'd left off. Well, let's go and see if the doctors are alive, because that's something they really seem to struggle with. Not seeing bloodstains everywhere, that door's locked. Oh, hey, Linry. This wasn't something I wanted to show you this iteration, but since I need to keep you around for reference, you might as well go and have a look. Yes, and also there may be multiple Linrys cropping up. Hold on, just back up a minute. What do you mean you created... Oh god, yeah, I'd forgotten that we'd left off on that bombshell, because, shockingly, I wasn't totally concentrating on it on account of the sleep. Once again, not seeing bloodstains on the floor doesn't mean the floor didn't clean it up itself. Yeah, because it can do that. I mean, what even is this place? I think you'll find the answers inside here. Sorry you have to keep these weird memories, though. I'll need them later for reference. But just try not to worry about it. Not worry about it? Yeah, don't worry about it. Go on, I'll meet you in there. But get your butt in there. Just kick through door. What a mess. Might as well let this one run its course. I guess the first time's never the charm, but to happen every time when... Wait a minute. kicked us down the stairs as well. Hey! Let me just move my cursor off there. You said you'd meet me in here. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You've been lied to. Also, those stairs, also a lie. And I can only walk right. So I guess we're walking right. Oh hey, the stairs are back. Do these ones really exist? These ones are large. Long room? Yes indeed. Why do we even have this? Long stairs. Snake eater. I appear to be becoming transparent. It's concerning. Kids, if you ever find yourself becoming transparent, maybe lay off whatever you were doing. And we traverse the white light and find Act 2. This is where we were keeping it. Or Act Bar in this case. Well, we're outside, I guess. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I kind of feel like doors shouldn't be there. This is some lovely environment art, though. Where am I? You're in some kind of Makoto Shinkai heaven. Have you seen the end of Weathering with You? Because that's where you are. Feels odd to just leave everything behind like this. It feels odd. You've just gone into a ridiculously long top floor basement, gone up a set of stairs and walked out of a mysterious door in the middle of nothing into a idyllic lavender field. Yes, it's odd. That's not this feels odd. This is empirically odd. But why did she send me here? What's that data gauge? We got some data, I guess. Yay data? Yata? My favorite Greek letter? Oh, but this is lovely. Well, hello there. Hello? Hey! Shadow people. That's a memory link. What was that? It was a memory link. Hello, Shadow Children. Are these people? Now, everyone stay together, okay? Peter, quit picking on Izzy like that. And Linry. Hey, Linry. I said don't go far from the group, especially you. So these are Linry's memories? Linry? Is this the past? But how? Can't interact with the Shadow Children? No. Which is probably for the best. Now, Linry, I have specific instructions from your parents that... Hey! Stop running! Efficient and effective teaching. Seriously, this is so pretty. It's so nice. It's so interesting to have gone away from the top-down perspective for now, and just this is really nice art. I'm gonna keep saying that clearly. Okay, if you do that again. Hey, the doctor said your participation on this trip is conditional. Somebody else living with an interesting condition. The doctor. Linry, if you don't watch it... Linry? Lenry. Everything here froze as soon as she fainted. Yeah, that's because she can't remember what happened after that. Does that mean this place is all based on her? I mean, she's the only person here with, you know, colour or features. So, reasonable assumption? But over here, we have a shield I can break with these memory links. This barrier. Hey. We are learning to Hadouken. I'll be real with you all. I don't know what's going on. It's all got a little bit Evangelion. And this door takes us to the back of an ambulance. This art style is very cool. Okay, we're back to more of the standard perspective. Except things look different on account of it being in a better resolution. Sorry, Dad. This was all my fault, wasn't it? You should have been more careful, Linry. Yeah, her dad's Irish. Shut up. But no, this isn't all your fault. Do you think I'll still be able to go on more class trips? Well, we'll have to see what the doctor says. Just be patient, and we'll try our best. Okay? I mean, she is patient, that's why she's wearing the gown. Okay. This is the second time it happened, isn't it? Yes, there's only one doctor. Yeah, we thought it was a one-off. We really shouldn't have allowed her to go without close supervision. Well, fortunately the fall was cushioned. These early symptoms can be dangerous. Experimental drugs for them are on the horizon. But in the long run, could one of you stay here with Linry? As for the other, please come with me. Always good when the doctors are like, we need to talk about your condition, but we can't do that in front of you. It's going to be okay, Linry. I can hear what they're saying. Yeah, because she couldn't. Is it because she couldn't? Way to come to everything a sentence behind me, Quincy. And yes, I know I have the advantage of having played these games before. Well, we got more data. Hooray for data, I guess. And here we get into another hallway. Now we're walking down a street. A metaphorical street. And here is, I'm guessing, her house. And there's our girl. But when will it happen? Tomorrow? Years down the road? It's not certain that it'll turn malignant, right? Oof. Yeah, content warning for talking cancer, I guess. There's a chance that it'll never surface. But there's a chance that it will. Then we'll treat it. If we start treatment as soon as it worsens, if it worsens, then we have another chance, right? Still, it just feels like there's so much left to mere chance. Henry? What are you doing here, Lynn? I can't sleep. Is there something wrong with me? Don't worry, Lynn. It's nothing we can't get through together. Is that what's keeping you up? No. Oh? Then what's the matter? Doctor said I can't go on field trips anymore, didn't he? Not for now. They are working on something that'll help. Oh. Are you sad that you had to end the trip early today? Yeah. I didn't want to leave so soon. Everyone else got to stay the whole day. Let's go back then. Go back? When? Why not now? Really? It's late, Bill. Oh, there's no harm in a little nighttime excursion now and then. Besides, I've got just the thing for it. Hooray! Are you coming, Mum? It's okay, I'll stay. I'll make some warm soup for when you two get back. Okay. I'll get into her dad's room. Little Prince by Antoine Saint-Exupéry. A thing I know very little about and really should, like, read or see sometime. Anything else we can poke around in this small girl's bedroom? Which, you know, when I put it like that, seems weird. Wow, is that really a telescope? Sure is. I'll show you how it works, too. I'm gonna put it in the car, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go say bye to Mum. More data. Input. Yep, so that coming. Can't interrupt with any of that. Guess it's time to go to the door. Oh, wow. Again, this is good environment art. It's that light again. Linry, is that you? These accents are bleeding a bit, aren't they? Brain, come on. Only one link here, but what if I walk directly away? Then the game says no. Okay. Yeah, those god rays coming through are the same as when you had the scientists calling into the simulation from outside. It says here that it should be just a bit to the west, but there are just so many of them. How can you track one down? I think I'll find it. You did? I want to see. Wow, I can't believe it. It really does look like the pictures in the book. Hey, didn't I tell you? You name it, I'll find it. What if they don't have a name? All those stars, they don't all have names yet, do they? Well, why don't you come up here and see for yourself? Hey, Dad? Do you think there's a star up there with my name? There's already a star with your name, Lenry. It's just not up there. What? Oh. That's cheesy, Dad. I still like the lavender more, but I'll admit that stars are pretty cool too. Aww. You know what's amazing about them, Len? We're getting this sequence with the CGs and the overlaid speech, and it's not the dramatic denouement of the game, or else this game is much shorter and makes less sense than the others. Yeah, because this is laid out just like the ones from the last couple of games. Even though those stars all shine so brightly, many of them have already been gone for a long time. Gone? Yeah, and the stars don't last forever. But then, why do we still see them? Well, that's because during the time they were here, they shine so brightly. But their light travels so far, it reaches us even now. Wow! I suppose I should thank them then. Without them, I wouldn't be able to see the lavender field. Well then, maybe you should thank the lavender too. Because without them, there'd be nothing to see, right? Yeah! The lavender may not be in the sky, but I like them better that way. I can play in them, smell them, and see them up close. The stars are all so far away, but I guess they got their own part to do too. Wouldn't change a thing about either of them. Wouldn't change a thing, huh? So if you could be either, which would you rather be? Well, I still like lavender more, so I want to be a star. A star if you like lavender more. Dad. To make sure everyone can see the lavender, of course. I'd shine down on this field so bright, make it light as day. And then everybody could always see just how lovely it is. Sounds like you'd make a wonderful star, Lynn. We're just front-loading the emotions here. This is nice, Dad. Wish we could stay up late and come here every week. But, Dad, could I ask you something? Yes, Lynn? Why was Mom crying? Can I interact with any of this? Nope. I mean, I guess it's because Quincy knows what he's doing less than the doctors do, so we're just seeing this as basically a slideshow. And this meeting, which of course happened in the void. Ah, this is the "and then she grew up" montage. Birthday. What is this? The credits? More doctor's visits. writing her dissertation on noted Russian American, German American, anyway, whatever he was, cartoonists. Butterflies. A giraffe. See, I riff, and then the game does things like that. So really, who are you going to believe? Cool, I'm now being trolled by a giraffe. And this is the class where we learned about giraffes. Just like the giraffes, the peppered moth is also used as an example of natural selection. Although the experiment has been debated, the hypothesis remains unchanged. But when genetic mutation occurs, natural selection decides whether it lives on or dies out. If the mutation is good, then the organism is more likely to survive and pass on its genes. And if the mutation is harmful, it's less likely to survive and reproduce, thus filtering itself out. And then we just leave. Gelzo, welcome to the chat. Yes, I am thus far enjoying it, definitely. I have less clue what's going on than the first couple games, but enjoying it nonetheless. I like how in the second game, with Colin's kind of very vivid imagination, we got the kind of smooth transitions from scene to scene where you walk down a corridor in the school and it slowly changes into the woods. And Linry, clearly less so, because it's just like, I was there, and then I was here. Something happened in the meantime, which is honestly intensely relatable. You feeling okay, Linry? I'm fine. Why? Well, for one, you seemed upset. And then there's the whole leaving in the middle of a class thing. I just didn't want to waste time, that's all. I was already familiar with the topics being taught. So you skipped class to read? What even is that? Microbiology. Oh, come on. You skip Stacy's parties but have time for freaking micro... High school years are for making memories. Huh. You got an interesting point. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to find some books on the formation of memories. That's not what I meant. I know, but thanks anyway. And then she grew up more. Wait, is this like background to her founding Sig Corp or something? Can I steal this football? No. Can I pester Emily? No. Graduated. Went to the hospital more. Went to, presumably, college. Gonna steal your bike. Won't let me commit petty theft, 2 out of 10. Let's go find some links in the hallowed halls of higher education. Ah, college libraries. This takes me back. What we don't have in the Hallowed Halls of Higher Learning is dialogue, because you're not meant to be talking in the library. Makes sense, really, when you think about it. And here we are in a lab. Still a bit behind schedule, isn't it? Yeah, but I'll catch up. There's still a lot to analyze, but at least I have the data now. Good. I know it's a lot, but yours is the one I'm looking forward to the most. No pressure. Pass some kind of machine to this doorway, where we dropped our papers. Just keep getting data. Input, Stephanie. Now we're back in the library again, just now with a much narrower focus. Because she's not here for the library, she's here for this one desk. That's it. I'm dropping out. I mean, is it really a college library if you're not within earshot of somebody having a fundamental existential crisis? I guess this place is no joke. But come to think of it, why do I feel as if I graduated from somewhere just like this? Maybe you did. I mean, if you've got no memories, no reason to assume not. Also, that's you. Ask and you shall receive. What the pug? Excuse me. Is this seat free? Seems like it. Do not try and engage me, I am in work mode. Wait, if this is supposed to be the past, and my past too, how come I don't remember this at all? You don't remember anything? I mean, this place is familiar and all, but... Hey, why is it getting darker? Because those hours disappeared into a work hole. And then we were here. Oh no! What? Is it really nighttime already? Oh man, guess so. You dozed off too, huh? I mean, the real surprise for a college library is that that many desks would be free even at night. Because that never happened. Yeah, I can't believe this. This is the second time this week. It's gonna mess up my sleep schedule. Oh, Linry, you're a mood. Relatability. If only I could think about falling asleep unexpectedly and it ruining my schedule. You look a little burnt out. Yeah, well, who isn't nowadays? That look of... well, I'm fine. Ugh. Sorry, apparently this is also the stream where I just have my eyes full of everything under the sun. Actually, how did you fall asleep like that? Well, jet lag. Jet lag? Yeah, I just came back from backpacking around the world. Wow, Lucky. Yeah. But now I gotta catch up. Wait, you mean... you literally just took a trip in the middle of a semester? Yep. Why? Oh, I know this guy. Alright, maybe I should go back to work while I'm still sane. Me too, I got a bunch of essays to catch up on. Rough. What's your major? I'm majoring in liberal arts. Oh. Liberal arts can be very useful. I didn't even say anything. That was unprovoked. But I'm being sincere. I don't know why you guys get so much flack around here. What are you majoring in? I'm in it. Well, it's a little embarrassing. It's okay, go on. What is it? Neuroscience. Doctorate, technically. You bastard. So what, are you working on becoming a doctor? Oh, no, I'm more into the research side. I mean, that's still being a research doctor, I would say. Or, I guess medical researcher is also a phrase. My paper is on the synaptic modification and encoding of memories. What's wrong? It's nothing. Well, it's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna grab some coffee from across the hall. You want one too? Sure. Thanks. My name's Quincy, by the way. I'm Linry. We knew each other, but I don't recall any of it. Poke, poke, poke. No, can I steal my own computer? Once again, this game spits on the great tradition of petty theft. Later in the library, we have the same seats every time, which is again surprising. Oh, that was a whole array of interesting noises my shoulders made. I doubt that came through a microphone, but wow. But then when do my shoulders not do the popcorn noise? Hey, past me. No? Hey, Lenry. No? Okay. Solved you both then, I guess. No, that was just showing, and we continued to use those desks. And we are once again at these desks, and I brought coffee. Hey, at least there's somebody else there. To have 2 nights where only 2 desks were occupied would just strain my suspension of belief much. Belief? Suspension of disbelief. There's a middle syllable in there. Suspension of belief. That's what we're calling it now. You have belief, you have deleaf. And then somewhere in the middle, the elusive sea leaf. This isn't even funny, Emma. What are you doing? Mark it in your calendars, boys. This is the day I had a breakdown on camera. I don't know what's going on. And we all thought that was happening during a bird story. And then we kept doing that. And then the door. we spent some time in the void. We chatted. We chatted in places that weren't the library. She threw books at my head. I called her a peasant for using the bus. I'm editorializing here. I had lunch with all my friends, and she had lunch alone. Lol, what a loser. We both went to the same coffee shop, but she was sad about it. I found her sitting on the ground. She ran somewhere, I walked, because I've never hurried in my life. I decided to hurry for once in my life. We both took the train because I wanted to experience what being a peasant was like. And then I was here. Take none of that as truth, let's be real. Make your own interpretations, mine cannot be trusted. And then it was here in the autumn. And I was eating an entire rotisserie chicken. I can't tell what that is. Can I not interact with them? No, I just have to go inside? Okay. Yeah, I get that the lower amount of interaction is probably a character thing, because Quincy doesn't know what he's doing. But at the same time, I would kind of like more interactivity in this video game. Seriously, how are all these tables going unclaimed? Why is there nobody who's stacked everything they own on a table while they go and have a breakdown about their doctorate in a corner? Why, yes, I did go to Oxford. What of it? That was the general experience there. How about the Eiffel Tower? Yeah, it was quite a sight. I mean, there are a lot of taller structures nowadays, but there's just something about the way it stands alone in the horizon. No, it doesn't. What? Stands alone, apart from the rest of Paris. Paris has a fairly active skyline. Speaking as somebody who lived in Paris for a while. Sounds nice seeing all of those places up close. I wonder if it's different from the pictures. Are you kidding? Of course it's different. Standing beneath the proof of civilization, close enough to reach out and touch history. I hope your anthropology professor shares the same level of enthusiasm. Eiffel Tower, the pyramids of Giza, the Great Wall. Honestly, I've always wanted to go too. Then why don't you? I mean, if I'm able to save up for a trip, I'm sure you could too. Yeah, but I imagine she's probably got more work to do than you, given that she's doing neuroscience and you're majoring in I am at college. No, it's just I don't have the time. Don't have the time? I know you're busy, but surely you can spare a few weeks? It's not just that. I chose my path a long time ago, Quincy. I have to find a place where I'll leave a mark, but I don't know how long I have to get there. It's nice catching glimpses of the scenery as I go, but if I were to stop and smell the roses, I'm afraid I'd realize how nice it all is and just stay. I see. That's quite a dramatic way to put it. Says somebody who's never had a chronic illness. But it's also kind of romantic. Reminds me of those stars in the sky. Huh? Like they shine and brighten the earth below, but can't be a part of this world themselves. Wait a minute. This was an image in the first game. What kind of thematic recursion nonsense is this, Kangao? Yeah. Something like that. My time here is so limited. I always feel such a pressure to make something of it. Well, I guess that always had a different effect on me. When I think of how limited our time here is, I can't help but want to simply enjoy it while it lasts. I guess it's kind of selfish in comparison. There's nothing wrong about simply wanting to experience the world. Sounds like something my grandma would say. I mean that in the nicest way, of course. It's just... she always lived life one day at a time in the purest sense. You and your grandma close? Sure. My parents passed away in an accident when I was young, so she brought me up. Sorry to hear. Well, it was a long time ago. But I remember when it first happened, people thought Grandma was heartless because... well, because she seemed to move on with her new life and routine rather fast. But I knew it wasn't because of that. She still grieved and reminisced about them every day, missing them. But she just had this view on life. She was just grateful to be here, to take the blissful with the tragic, to be reborn each day. She always joked that even if the world ended tomorrow, she'd still be okay with it. Even if the world ended tomorrow. I envy her. I'm not sure if I'd be able to live day to day like that. Me neither, but I guess it did rub off on me a bit through the years. She passed away not long before we first met, actually. Developed Alzheimer's later in life, and complications got her. When we first met, is that why you went on that trip? You know, when you told me about your paper when I came back, I really questioned the path I'd chosen. I thought, there's someone whose work could make a difference. And here I am, just prancing through life for myself. Yeah, but how would we do papers on the formations of memories if nobody was out there making memories? Aye. It's not exactly an altruistic choice on my part either, to be honest. It's more like an impulse. In a way, I wish I could feel content just being carefree and having fun, but I can't. Sometimes I wonder if I'd be bitter about it in the end. I just saw "sometimes I wonder" there, and my brain is just spinning from it into the whole of the message by Grandmaster Flash. Which, that's not even the line, that's "sometimes it makes me wonder." Why is my brain like this? I mean, we know why my brain is like this, it's literally a tag on this stream. Well, sounds like maybe we could keep each other in check. Maybe we could. Hey, what do you think if I mean, I know we hang out now and then already, but what if we do that, but more? Like, I know this place outside campus that makes the best avocado salad. Are you asking me out? Well, if you put it that way... yeah, I guess I am. I don't think that's a good idea. It's because I'm a liberal arts major, isn't it? I know, I'm just kidding. But it's okay, I get it. No hard feelings, let's just... I'm sick, Quincy. I have been since I was a kid. Every morning I wake up, I'm never sure if it'll take a turn for the worse. I'm a time bomb. Yeah, but what were we just saying about taking every moment before that happens? Just now! And then she fell asleep and I left her with a bag of snacks just in case she woke up hungry. For a college library, though, they are remarkably chill about somebody just going to sleep in a window. If you tried to sleep in an Oxford library, I mean, like, the porters would get you to leave, but honestly, mostly, you'd just have your place, and then all your miscellaneous effects stolen, and... I don't know, somebody would probably draw a dick on you. College, eh? Quincy? No, I am Ghost Quincy from the future. I guess I can be quite an arse. Wait, but if I can't remember any of this, is it still really me? Continuity of consciousness? This is a zero escape game. Still can't interact. Guess I'm just gonna have to walk down this hallway of light. Into the same room. Excuse me, is this seat free? It's taken, sorry. That's just bad conduct. If a desk isn't taken in the library, you'd let people know it's free. There aren't enough desks to go around. Working alone, late into the night. This is what happens if you ask somebody out and they say no, and then you just abandon them completely as a result. After saying there's no hard feelings, you really make it look like there's hard feelings. Speaking of bad conduct. Then we take the door. The particle, like, the way the streaks look like coloured, like colour pencil drawings, is very nice. Slightly different frame rate to everything else, and then the particle effect when they break. It's a very nice piece of animation. That's all I've got. But the barrier's still standing. Wait. Why does it feel like... Why didn't that work on all the other ones? These accents go in very interesting places. I can only apologise. It's not like I'm a professional voice actor or anything. I've always said I'm bad at accents, so shut up. Let's go through this door. There's a staircase. It's snug. Said in a mildly David Attenborough voice. You made it. That jacket. Yeah, you're wearing it. And that's the outfit she wears at the party. Yeah, I got your message. Wow, that's a lovely dress. Thanks, it's a bit chilly though. I thought we were going somewhere indoors. Oh, wait a minute. When I said to dress well, I meant warmly. because of this freaky cold weather front tonight. Okay, Twitch has just shouted at me that I need to take a break, so I guess I should probably take a break. I'm gonna go away, run some ads, and be back in probably, I'll aim for about 3 minutes, but we shall see, you know. I'll be back in an amount of time. In the meantime, you all should go and drink some water, get a snack if you need to, take your meds if you haven't, move around, just generally, you know, be in the world, and I will see you again after these ads. If you could let them run, that would be great. Yeah, love you all. See you in 3-ish. And we're back. Hello, everyone. Ah, you can see your data gauge like you could see your timeline before. That's nice. I don't know why you need to, but hey. Because of this freaky cold weather front tonight. And, you know, snow and autumn. Oh, I get it. You wanted me to pull this move on you, huh? What? No, that's not what I... Test pass, score 1 for Quincy. Come on, follow me. Hey, really, it was an honest mistake. Time to look? Well, have a good meeting, and see you when you return. As I always say, luck is always appreciated. Unless by lucky you mean mimic, in which case, no, you can get out to my stream immediately. Hold on, I just gotta make sure everything's still okay up there. Okay, good to go. But maybe you could blindfold yourself for the surprise? I don't think that's a good idea walking up the stairs. Good point. Okay, then just walk up really slowly. No. Ta-da! Okay, that's cute. What's that? That's right, the Eiffel Tower. And you're laughing. No, I love it. It's actually rather thoughtful. You made that for me. Of course. I mean, you wanted to see the world, right? Okay, this actually really sways. We've got Stonehenge, we've got the Sydney Opera House, Michelangelo's David. Was that Big Ben? Because, you know, by the world we meant Europe and the Anglosphere. Huh. No offense to the real thing, but it's actually kind of clever. It is, right? Wait, what do you mean by no offense to the real thing? I'm going away. No, the void will not take me. So that's Eiffel Tower made of brooms. Next up, the Stonehenge. Oh, neat. Does the cafeteria know that they're missing trays, though? I'll return them in the morning. Also, the Stonehenge, Quincy? The Stonehenge? It's just Stonehenge. Sydney Opera House. I'd love to see an opera one day. You don't even need to travel for that. You know how much time you need to set aside out of your life to see an opera? An evening. Why wait when you can do it right now? Second thought. And that's what? Like napkins glued to a board held up with something. These are honestly very clever. I mean, I'm no Michelangelo, but... Duct tape. Really? Hey, I'm on a budget here. Just cardboard boxes and duct tape. It's not Big Ben, but it's a Ben. And it's pizza o'clock. Always. I mean, that is true. Yeah, that's a ladder, a book, and a pizza box. Great Wall of China from... Is that toilet roll or... Oh, or are they Chinese takeaway boxes? Behold the decent wall. How? Please tell me, didn't eat all that takeout by yourself? Takeout boxes, cool. I wish I could. I really do. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. Of coffee. Missed opportunity with the Pizza Ben Tower, perhaps? Cardboard and... don't know what that's a ball of, Taj Mahal. You would not believe the number of balls I had to find for this Taj Mahal. I can't... 7. Yeah, that's right. You would not believe the number of balls that you can see clearly. And what even? How have you even made these? Isn't one of the pyramids missing? Yeah, someone's using it as a tarp. Someone's using these as pyramids. The one with the bigger vision, I'd say. It's all about how you contextualize that tarp. Through the barrier. This was actually really nice. Thank you for putting it all together for me. Must have taken a while, huh? Well, I don't like to brag, but you would not believe how much I had to eat to get all the props. Linry, look. I know you don't have the time to be distracted from your goals, but I'm not here to do that. I know you can walk your path alone, and it must be hard sometimes. But perhaps it doesn't have to be like that. If you want to see the world, I'll bring it to you. When you need a reason to keep going, I'll remind you. And if you want to be the sky, then maybe I can be your earth. You're proud of that line, huh? It is lonely, I'll give you that. Walking this road, sometimes I think, if I have to not look in order to keep going, then how far can I really go? It's not that I don't want to, believe me. Finding someone, settling down, maybe even starting a family. It's not the first time I've thought about it. But all this isn't why I said it wouldn't be a good idea. It still didn't stop you from putting on the dress tonight. Hey, if it's me you're worried about, you don't have to. I'll be okay. My choice is my own. All you have to decide for is yourself. After all, my grandma raised me to be the way I am, remember? Even if... oh no. Even if the world ends tomorrow. Even if the world ends tomorrow. But until then. Did you seriously just stealth until the end of the world? What do you think this is, Preacher? His face there is adorable. Until then. A dog. Dog. And then we sat outside the library and read, instead of sitting inside the library and reading. She did labs. I wasn't there. I brought her up. It's got the dome lid and a straw. Is that a frappe in the middle of winter? Interesting. Interesting choice. She went to hospital, I wasn't there. We went running. She worked on what is, actually a dissertation this time. We had a picnic. She did, I'm guessing, like a postdoc panel, or is that meant to be a viva? Do people at other colleges call them vivas? I genuinely don't know. The thing about going somewhere like Oxford is it's so detached from the real world, and then you talk about things from it and people just look at you like you're an alien, which is fair because it's entirely detached from the real world. We cuddled in the library. It was cute. And then it was graduation. We're so proud of you, Len. We always knew you could do it. Oh, her mother gets a name now. I didn't expect you to bag yourself a cute one while you're at it too. That's not appropriate for a first meeting. The first meeting of many, I hope. Sorry, I'm just so happy. It's been so many years. I just can't believe how far you've come. You just said you always knew I could do it. I know, today's for celebrating their accomplishments. Why didn't you join us for dinner tonight, Quincy? We could talk about both your post-graduation plans. Okay. Thank you, Mr. There you are, Linry. Oh. Not the voice I was going with. Those two. You're from Dr. Haynes and Dr. Hughes send their regards. And does, of course, in the flesh. Congratulations. Does this mean I passed their interview? Ah, this is what it was. It wasn't a viva. Didn't recognize them from the back and alive. The interview, that was just a formality. To confirm that you authored the paper, mostly. Say, would you like to attend a party, Linry? A party? An introductory sort. On behalf of the Hugh Haynes Foundation, I'd like to extend this invitation to you. What should I expect? A professional networking event of sorts. The details are on the card. Opportunities like this don't come often. We trust that you'll consider it. Well. By the way, it's a formal party, so do dress well. You mean well or warmly? And then it began to rain because pathetic fallacy in full effect. Does this college only have one building? Can I interfere with her parents? Can I interact with anything? Can I interact with myself? Can't even pass through the Shadow Man. Nope. Okay, guess I'm just going through this door. Into the forest. A very familiar forest. Welcome to the start of the game. There's the car that dropped me off. I'm still a ghost. And there she is. Nice dress, nice umbrella. One of these things more appropriate from the weather than the other. Appropriate from? That's not English. And then she went into the house. Here again. But now I can get memory links. I keep forgetting I have a run button. This fountain still looks old and broken down, but the place as a whole seems more maintained. It does. Far less falling apart than it was earlier. Still a nice gazebo, though. Is the fox here? Sir Flu Fox? Can't interact? Okay. Boo, but sure. And it's 3 o'clock. You can tell because of the bell. And here's Rika and Ricebot, the real MVP of this story. Wow, feels like it's been ages since I last washed my hands here. All these umbrellas, I guess the guests have already arrived. Is this the real version of the party we've been running simulations of? Hi, Rika. Hey. No, you're still a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ricebot will understand us, though. Would you like rice? Wait, you can see me? Cut it out, Ricebot. No one's asking for rice. Would Rika like rice? No, stop it. Okay. Maybe you should want rice, Rika. It's good for you. Yes, they're ready for you upstairs. Right this way. I remember this party and these people. But I'm a ghost now. I'm a ghost. Victor, you're annoying. I'm a ghost. People are very rich. I'm a ghost. Let's go upstairs. I'm a ghost. That has the barrier and we just still don't have enough links. What about this room that was how we got into this mess in the first place? Oh, it's locked. But I'm sort of already inside this door. That door's also locked. Maybe it was one of the other side rooms downstairs. We had to pick up the other link in. Yeah, Exploration begins in earnest. Do I have to go and get a memory of the bathroom? Do I want to be exploring her bathroom memories? This place. No, just the existence of the bathroom was all the memory I needed, I guess. Because the game also did not want to pry into her bathroom memories. Why do I actually miss these guys? Because they had comedic accents. Can they see ghosts? No. Because it gave me an excuse to do the comedy French accents. Which I'm allowed to do because I spent like 7 years studying French. It gives you a license to be a dick like this. That's how it works. Let us open the barrier, and I will stop doing this voice. See? And now we're back as we were when we first got here. Direct human-to-machine memory interfacing. That's right. Well, interfacing and permuting. But you don't have to worry about that. Knowing your area of expertise, we only expect your help with the former. That sounds fascinating, even though it wasn't exactly the job posting. Of course not. But it's better, isn't it? The research you'll be doing here will be far beyond the scope of any other on your list. You understand why it's not on the public posting, don't you? I suppose so, but... why me? Surely there are more experienced candidates. Well, we've done a background check on your particular situation. Oh, we could always use some fresh perspective, that's all. What, this is, you're gonna die in a few years, so we won't need to pay you benefits and you'll be motivated to work faster. Capitalism! Don't sell yourself short. Your paper speaks for itself. Aye, there's no reason for self-doubt. Impostor syndrome is commonplace among talents. Don't let it get to you. Just easy as that. That impostor syndrome you've got, just don't think about it. Thank you for believing in me. Well then, now that we're past that step, should we go sign the NDAs and witness some miracles firsthand? So I already signed NDAs before coming here. Oh, there's always more NDAs. NDAs and waivers. Waivers? Bureaucracy, you'd better learn to love the paperwork. Hey. It doesn't seem like she's the Lenry who could see me. I guess this is still some kind of a replay. Human-machine memory interfacing, huh? Can I get out to the, like, balcony route? Boo. Oh, but I wanted to see the cat. Hope that bastard's doing alright. I'm sure the cat is fine. Oh, rice pot's gone. They can be back in the party room. Yes, gathered for the main event. And as promised, the prototype. That's a familiar looking machine. Oh my gosh. It's hideous. Do you expect us to invest in a printer from the last century? As Dr. Haynes said, it is only a prototype. Although he does have a taste for rather vintage aesthetics. And then it folds out with the screen. Yep, that's a familiar machine. I'm not one to judge a book by its cover, but if this has the quantum computational capabilities that you proclaimed, it is unbelievably small. And I know we've made significant progress on cooling, but to practically eliminate it? No, this is mostly a wired client connecting to the computing center. Most of the calculation is done elsewhere. That being said, yes, because everything has to be cloud-based now. That doesn't introduce any problems at all. Even with stubbed cerebral data, its astounding potential is evident. Allow me to demonstrate. Data. I wish it showed the actual demo before everything froze. I get the feeling you are the demo. Bling, blingy, bling. And then, in our presumably shared house... Phew, that's the last box. Told you we'd get everything here by tonight. Hey, what is it? Is it that you remembered we already streamed unpacking one time? Are you sure about this? Moving all the way here with me because of my job. You had arrangements back home too, didn't you? Well, yeah, but nothing like this. I mean, the Hugh Haynes Foundation. Whatever you do there, I'm sure it'll be cutting edge. Still. Hey, it's okay. I know how much this means to you. And don't worry, I'm sure I'll figure something out for myself here too. Thanks, Quince. I'm glad you're here. Of course, I promised I would. Anyhow, let's just settle down and let you get some rest. Can't have you sleepwalking on your first day tomorrow. Can I interact with any of this stuff? No? Do I just have to go and poke around in rooms? Bedroom. Good old mattress again. Why does it feel like going from one dorm to another? It's kind of cozy if you ask me. Makes me think of camping. You've never really gone camping before, have you? Not exactly. It's like camping if you only have a vague idea of what camping is. In this room, which is room containing box and lamp, the legendary spare room. Could be anything. Could be a study room. Or a pinball room. Bookcases over there. Or a mini golf room. Finally got a desktop computer over here. Or a throne room. More houses should have a throne room. I should have a throne room. Why don't I have a throne room? And this is great, because the last time I was like, why don't I have a platypus plushie? One of you got me one. I know nobody out there is going to buy me a throne and a room to put it in. So. And bathroom. More bathroom memories. This reminds me. In the mansion today, they literally had a golden toilet. Literally? Literally. Wow. Do they really need to sit on gold to take a dump? No, because again, the lid, gold. The bowl, porcelain. Do not sit on the lid when you're going to the toilet. Just don't do it. We here at the House of Hubris recommend you don't do that. There's a cue in that music that always sounds like it's about to go into somewhere out there. You get that bling, bing, and it just feels like it's going to go bing, bing, bing. I mean, possibly this is just because I was listening to that yesterday, but who knows, who knows. It's morning already. I mean, you've been through, like, several decades already, Quince. Just, like, time is wonky here. Get used to it. Okay. How do I look? Well, I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a person attached to your hair bun. And she looks kick-ass. I'll be back by supper. Go on. You're gonna do great. And I follow, I guess? So many doors. Doors on doors on doors on doors on doors. And we're at the mansion. Can't look at the fountain this time. The fox enclosure is closed for once. Wow, is that a real fox? No, it's just a sentient foxtail. Of course, it's a real fox. Why wouldn't it come out? It's a real shy fox. And the others have already arrived. Rika waits for you inside. I'll go find her. Thanks. Not if I find her first, by which I mean when I find her you'll already be there, so you know. Time wonky and all. Kind of invalidates the point of a race. Most of this house? Don't care. Just go to this room now, gamer. Player of the video game. Where is everybody? The mail said they'd already arrived. They've already gone to the lab. Now am I late for the commute? Not quite. Other things I want in my house. That. Like, and not just the hidden trapdoor, but a hidden trapdoor that's also a pool table, so that I could play pool. Screw the trapdoor, I'd like a pool table. And the space to put it in. I mean, I feel like many of the things I want in my life have the proviso and the place and the space to put it in. Thank you for the self-care reminders. Because God knows I'm not good at remembering that myself. Come aboard. No, I will come aboard. Going down. As opposed to up? Like, how would that work? Secret lab, secret lab, secret lab under the mansion. That's the plot of every Resident Evil game ever made. James Bond music. Welcome to the Hugh Haynes Foundation. This is just one of several branches of our core development centers. As you might guess, it's also one of the most discreet. That's not how you spell that word. Just saying. Wow, yeah, this is incredibly knockoff James Bond music and it knows it. Wow, this whole place. I knew there was something off about this place. Yeah, did the rice bot not tip you off? And this robot. I knew it. It was never just a rice cooker, was it? Dr. Kim, do we know? I don't think so. The rice cooker is on the loose again! Hey, get back here! If the chefs slip it down the shaft again, I'd swear I'm gonna... It's a rice cooker. Okay. Come, I'll give you a tour. I would also like tour. First, I'm going to go and check on Ricebot, okay? Ricebot? Or I could go in here. Is Ricebot in here? Oh, this is just another part of the tour, I guess. No, the project you will be working on is only one of several that we're pursuing here. But, psst, it's my favorite. Ricebot? Except for you, Ricebot. Shall we show Linry her station? Sure, the facility is in maintenance, but Dr. Clegg's there as we speak. Also, take Ricebot back upstairs, will you? Of course. Would you like rice? Not now, dear, but thanks. Okay. I'd like some rice, Ricebot. I'd like some rice. I do love also how you've got all these people that are static shadows, but they're wearing lab coats. Because that means Linry has looked at them and seen "and scientist" and stopped paying attention. Just reduced to functor. And the human-to-machine interfacing. Not as much progress, we're still focusing on stub data. We've got some new hires on that front. Oh, the first CPU chug of the day. Oh, and also my chroma is going a little bit interesting. While my CPU has a moment, I'm going to try and fix that. How long's that been there? Okay, CPU's back to normal, but I still want to fix this. No, don't do that. Streamlabs work for me. I've done some changes to my lighting setup today, which is why the chrome is playing up a little. But that... no. Can I tweak it so that we don't have that or the weird ghosting on my arm? I think that's probably as close as we're getting for now. Yeah, like I said, I've been changing around the lighting, so... you know. It's a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. We've got some new hires on that front. I hope we'll make progress soon. I don't know why this random person who I don't think will be important needs an accent so often goes to bad Welsh. That's just my brain, I guess. Oh, tour continues. There you go. Dr. Louis Clegg should be there. He arrived at residence here a few days earlier. I believe you already met at the party. I remember. Let's go, Ricebot. It's... to make a very not oblique, direct yet obscure reference. If you've ever read the Asimov story Lenny, speaking as someone who's read a lot of Asimov short stories, it's just, that's a dynamic I really like. Just smart person keeps robot as pet slash in like intellectually disabled friend. It's a very nice dynamic, just keeping and caring for robot with no particular purpose who maybe can't converse all that good. You don't think you've read that one? It's a classic. I mean, they're mostly classics. This coming from somebody who has read The Complete Robot far too many times, and there's my copy of it now. Pet Roomba, yeah, kind of, but it's the possibility of conversation, I guess, but this on the simplistic level. I don't know, it's a very specific dynamic, but it just makes me think of Susan Calvin and Lenny, and it's very nice. I mean, less pet, really, more child. Can't get through there without some more links, so... Wondered why the run button wasn't working. I was pressing a different button, was mainly my problem. Can I read the map? No? Okay. But here in the cafeteria, yeah. The cafeteria and recreational room. The chefs send meals down the shaft thrice a day. Just give them your order. I thought it was strange that there were 3 chefs here. That's fair. Can I have coffee? No? But what if I desire coffee? Frankly cruel not to let me interact with it. Ooh, and an aquarium in your recreation room. Hope somebody takes care of those fish. Here is the residence for on-site collaborators. If things go well, we might invite you for a room here. Thanks, but I've already got a place elsewhere. But whose room is this? They have a boombox. And books. Let's go through their bin. No? Oh. Can I go this way? No? Oh. They're not saying anything else. Where's link 1? Could you go down from here? Yes. Of course, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you, I'll do my best. Dr. Haynes, are you still there? Excuse me. I'm here. Regarding the contract, it's not in our interest to fund the project without a say on the board. The board is not the only way to have a say, Mr. Armstrong. You should go meet Dr. Yu in the West Wing. She's in charge of your research team. But we already saw that memory, Rika. Go, keep with it. But now we have all the links. We can go and meet Elliot. That was his name, right? I think that was his name. It's his name now. What is your name, and do you like that it is now Elliot? Louis! Well, it's Elliot now. So, fresh doctorate, huh? To be honest, I was surprised when I saw you at the party the other day. But to actually see you here. Dr. Hughes said my paper has been helpful to the project. I'll try my best to apply the findings. Your paper? I've read your paper. No offense, but there's nothing there that she didn't know already. What do you mean? What they had done here, I've deconstructed it. There's no way they made all this progress without having already known about your findings. Dr. Yu and her team must have already figured it all out years ago. Years ago? But then, why were their findings not published? Are you serious? This isn't some purist academia spreading knowledge for the betterment of humanity. I'd say money, but the interest groups involved are a lot more complicated than that. Regardless, look. If you're looking to make a difference in the world, this is still the place. It may be a while before the public gets a taste, but here's where it all starts. We must let big tech create the machines that could kill people, because then how could other people get their hands on them? Also, let's take the could kill people out of the advertising copy. I'm surprised a state-of-the-art quantum computer still looks like this. The vintage aesthetic is just an homage. It didn't even look like this with the glass back then. Through the door, I guess. Ashadoom. And the montage. I slept in, she went to work. She pointed at graphs. She argued with the man whose name is now Elliot. Thank you again for having me here. I'm learning so much already. Fitting in well, I take it. We'll introduce you to the main project on Monday. Do keep the confidentiality in mind. I'll be ready. Can I put it to you? No. There is more void over here. And then she came home late one night. I'm home. Hey, how was work? Not bad for a first week. I think I'm getting a hang of it. What you making there? Oh, just you wait. The most amazing carrot cake you'll ever eat. Behold the carrot. The humble vegetable that I shall elevate into a culinary masterpiece. Also, I brought you pancakes in bed. They have carrot in them. I had leftovers. Look at my computer! Also, a cat destroyed my research. Well, I'm pretty sure I found the issue. Man's staying a bit longer to run some tests. Sure, I'm here to help. And then she just stopped coming home, I'm guessing. Or did very late. That's what blue means. That's Hollywood for night. Hey, sorry I'm back late. Everything okay? Yeah, there are always issues to fix, but we'll get through it. Of course, I got you. I'll go heat up dinner. Ah, the slow alienation of big tech. Look at my computer! And then we pondered this panel until somebody fixed it. And then it destroyed my CPU again. Oh my god. See, we got halfway through this stream without it happening at all, and I was starting to think, huh, maybe some of the settings I changed fixed it. Nope. As ever, I apologise unreservedly to my viewers for whom this is ruining the flow, and frankly for me it's ruining the flow as well. I'd edit it out in the VOD, but we all know I'm not going to. Hey, we're back. Then at the lab, the interface module is still behind schedule, although we are making progress. The investors are expecting a demo. Are you sure it'll be ready by the next visit? Yeah, we'll make it. By the way, have you thought more about the residence offer, Dr. Lin? Why did I say Dr. Lin? Linry? Look, the word doctor was on the screen. Shut up. We even have a vacant room ready for you. Everything would surely be easier that way. Big Tech, it's bad for you. Sorry, I'm so late again. I had to... Asleep, had food. And then we had an MRI. Ate at the cafeteria. Rice bot serving us all the best rice. Well, regulations be damned, but progress is progress. Still. Sure you want to demo this next week? Regulations be damned is always a great thing to hear your research scientists say. Yes, it's an honor, really. It's come a long way. Glad I could be a part of this. Also, Dr. Kim was here. Got all our links. Shit, I forgot it was today. Anniversary, I'm guessing. Once again, Big Tech, it's bad for you. It's interesting, this time we're experiencing somebody's memories in more or less chronological order, like forwards, rather than going all backwards in the first game and bouncing around in the second. Living at the campus on your own. But we've got this place. I haven't agreed to it yet. But you're seriously thinking about it. I mean, it should only be for a while. That's what you said about working late. Now it's every night. I know, it's just... We're doing something amazing, Quince. We're so close. This could change the world. This is what I've always wanted to do. Look, I know I haven't been around for us as much as I should. I'm sorry about that. But I thought we both knew what I had to do from the start. Didn't you? You said you understood and that you'd give me a reason to keep going. You'd bring me the world to see so I can stay and do this. I know it sounds selfish, but I never asked for it. I never would have said yes if I knew it wasn't what you really wanted. Of course I wanted to. I wouldn't still be here if I weren't. I meant what I said, and I've been trying so hard to do just that. It's just... I just thought we'd still be able to have more than just this. I know I said that I'd bring you the world, but I guess at some point I still wanted to see the world with you too. And now it all just feels farther and farther away. This isn't really fair to you though, is it? I guess I don't know what I was really expecting. I'm sorry, I really can't stay and talk more about this right now. I'm already so late. We're supposed to be presenting our progress to the investors today. But I'll talk about this later, okay? Yeah. Did somebody say emotions? And through this mystical door of light, Ah, is this where the murder came from? Wait, that's... Whatever his real name is, Louis. Not Elliot. Hey! What's happened here? The premise is closed. Are you affiliated? I work here. Henry! Oh, what's going on? Is that Louis? It didn't work. The investors were already here and we were waiting, and so Louis, he did the demo in your place, but they wanted a live test. He did the demo in my place? Dr. Haynes and Dr. Yu are still inside talking with the others. They said... Henry, wait! And now we have guilt for keeping her away from work, I guess? We don't get to listen to that conversation. I was about to say exploration. Which I guess things can be two things, but still. An exploration of the things that happened. Exploration of the facts. That's what we're calling it now. Actually, before we run into all of these people and all of their voices, I need to take my next break. As ever, I'll be about 3 minutes. And yeah, I'll run some ads. I need to get up and stretch and get some water, and so do you, probably. If you don't, then I'm not your dad. So do what you like. But yeah, you know, stretch, take your meds, eat something if you need to, have your meds if you haven't. And I will be back in about 3 minutes. Love you, see you in a few. And we're back. Hope you all enjoyed that break. I particularly enjoyed how it meant everybody didn't watch me forget how to drink water. Should we get back into this? But what good is a memory interfacing machine if it kills the user? We don't know that for sure. It's just one failed attempt. Well, good luck with more attempts under all the regulations this is going to trigger. Now, under the radar, we can get around those. No, you were under the radar. Yeah, and now you're, like, totally over it. Either way, if there's a fundamental incompatibility with writing the memories, that surely doesn't bode well for the core of the project. Oh, you bunch are so pessimistic. Haven't you heard of pivoting? Let's not lose our heads over a little setback. How is this a little setback? Yeah, what's even the point of memory interfacing if they die in the process? Well... Linry? Wait, Linry? Can't follow her outside. This data gauge is just going to last me all episode, isn't it? And through this door we find CPU Chug. I swear to God, I'm going to try streaming something else and see if it is just the particular interface of RPG Maker and Streamlabs. I don't think it is. I think it's just Streamlabs doing a thing. Ugh. And I can only apologise for Streamlabs doing this thing. Once again, I have tried to fix the settings. It doesn't work. But I think we're coming back now. We're back now. I was about to say, what the hell is happening with my green screen? That is my mouse cursor. Good job, me. Fled with the old doctors pursuing her. They caught her. She quit. We walked down the holodeck. Bye. The holodeck, which is also just the placement grid of RPG Maker, and my home. Hey, you're back early. What's wrong? I want to go. You want to go live at the residence? No. I want to go see the world with you. That was apparently the end of the important part of the conversation. Flames in the background. It's the Eiffel Tower. Pretty sure I've stood more or less exactly where they're standing. Trocadero, and that comes down kind of that way. So I used to live in kind of this direction. Like, away in that direction, I think. No way. It'd be like 90... Perspective is a thing. See, me attempting to explain this has introduced CPU chug again. I think it was like this direction relative to this. I have very bad spatial reckoning. Like this kind of direction. And of course that's providing I've remembered the layout of Paris correctly, which is, you know, it's a coin flip at the best of times. Are you gonna calm down, computer? Anytime you like. Yeah, now would be good. Cool. And here's the people selling all the knockoffs, and what you don't have here is the Paris cop turning up and them all having to instantly pack up and leave. Here we have Stonehenge, and yes, it's just Stonehenge, not the Stonehenge. I don't know how far in the past we've gone, because you cannot get that close to it anymore. But hey, a child gave you a dandelion, so I guess. I suppose there's similarities to somewhere out there in this theme. Kind of aren't that surprising, because it's the same kind of mood. Yearning. And here we are at a pizzeria in Cairo. I feel like there should be more stuff visible in this skyline. I mean, I don't know Cairo super well, having, you know, never been there. There's a lot more city closer to the pyramids than you expect. Here we are on the Great Wall of China. Just playing all the hits. It's a pretty good wall. This just in. Great Wall of China big. Something, something, 10,000 Li. This door, which is also a time door, cunningly concealed in an actual door. And we go to Florence. See, I assumed we would be doing Sydney Opera House next. And we are showing David from behind. Come on, my dude. Sure, let's make the dick joke now. Now we need to break out of the Uffizi. And we fall out of the sky and die. Ah, we're in Venice. Hey, Quince. Glad we went on this trip. We'll come back again one day. So much data. Data, data, data. Input. Input. And then we were back at an airport. Because this is the thing with travel, is eventually one returns and finds oneself changed by the experience. Something, something. T.S. Eliot. Henry? Are you alright? Yeah, just a bit airsick from the bumpy flight, I think. Are you sure? I've never seen you get airsick before. I'll give your doctor a call. Let's get you checked just to be sure. And again, Shadow, but in a white coat, because just doctor. Pregnant? Yes, so it seems. Congratulations. Pardon me, is this not planned? I mean, no, but... But Doctor, my files. Yes, I know about your condition. Then, can I really still... Honestly, it's a legitimate concern. But how do I put this? Most people have some form of hereditary risk factors to pass on, Linry. Now, if it's something with extreme risk, like Huntington's, deterrence might be called. But with other serious but common types, such as cancer, then it's typically not. Your rare condition, on the other hand, which we're not going to name, because again, vague conditions. Also, people with Huntington's should maybe not have kids, is not the take you think it is, my guy. Although a lot of doctors probably still say this. House MD-itis. Yep, exactly. Although also severe, it falls somewhere in between. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly encouraging it, and there are other issues. But this is a decision that only you two can make. And presumably we did. Walk through the void to a wood, familiar tile set, but then, you know, most woods look much the same. What are you thinking? I'm thinking I got through like 90 minutes of this without the CPU having a moment, and now it's just deciding to have a moment every other moment. And I am tired of it. and I will continue to shout at my computer until something improves. Any streamers out there who are having the same problem, let me know what fixes it, because I've tried a bunch of things already. Microsoft updates? What about Microsoft updates? What? Yeah. Cool, we're good. What are you thinking? Are we really considering this? That's usually what causes you to have weird spikes with no obvious cause. I mean... maybe, but... I'm getting no notifications or anything. I don't know. I don't know, but... we have to make a decision. You did say you wanted a family, right? Yeah, Task Manager doesn't show it. Like, Task Manager shows my performance falling at that point, but... Streamlabs is, like, I've got analytics running in Streamlabs, and it says Streamlabs is taking 20% of the CPU, which suggests the problem is there. Bill Gates is personally a liar. Well, that's his maybe. You did say you wanted a family, right? Yeah, but this is about more than just what I want. I mean... not too long ago, I was still preoccupied about my own livelihood. I suppose I've been doing well lately, but still. Maybe we can book some tests? Medical advances have come a long way. That only tells the odds. It'd be a risk either way. So is everything. Even with all that aside, to become parents at all. What about you, Quince? I mean, would you even want to start a family? Honestly? Before my grandmother passed away, she was the only family I had for so long. I can barely remember being together with my parents, but I still remember the feeling. To have our own family. Honestly, that sounds rather nice. But as you said, this is about more than just that. I'm afraid, Quince. Me too. But it's our decision to bear. For what it's worth, just know that whichever we choose, I'll see it through with you till the end. God, this... all of these games just deal with very real kind of relationship moments and feels. And then we sat at home and worried. And she walked off with purpose. And got our lab coat on. Or hung her lab coat up. A lab coat was involved. Through the time door. This one goes in at the time hole. And right there. Yep. There's the heartbeat. Did you say heartbeat? I see it. And over here is the arm. We got an arm, Linnery. And the other arm. Wow. Poke the sonogram. No? Okay. Comfy shoes for sure, and don't forget your prenatal vitamin. Most importantly, sleep, so you can have something to reminisce about. And the computer does it again. I don't know, is it a specific memory thing in Streamlabs for when it... because it's happening so much more now? Like, as the stream has gone on? I genuinely don't know. I'm not very good with software, or indeed hardware. Like I'm good at operating it, not on understanding why it do the things it do. Cool, we're back. Family dinner. Well, we were thinking Tobias if a boy. And Gabrielle if a girl. Oh, those are both lovely names. Dear, come on, this is wonderful news. Yeah. Take extra good care, okay, Len? I will. By the way, you know you can already find out, right? Wait, find out what? Nothing of great import. And then she just ate. I can't even tell what that's meant to be she's getting out of the fridge. Is it just cake? Just pregnancy cake cravings. Well, it looks like... What is it? Yep, it's a boy. Unless it's not. We got takeout. And here we are in... like a mother care or something, although not if this isn't set in Britain, which it's not. Oh, and this one! This'll look adorable on little Toby. That looks a little big for newborn, Mum. Oh, Lynn, we won't have time to shop like this when the time comes. And then we gave her a back rub. How's this? And this? And what about this? Stop! You're gonna stuff the baby! Don't know what you're talking about. Babies love tickles. Really, computer? Really? I'm getting like minutes between spikes now. Just Streamlabs chart these so I can just... so I don't see them moment by moment. Yes, I would like to open the performance window. My stream quality is good. Is it now, Streamlabs? Is it? Actually, yeah, the stream's fine. The stream is showing pretty much exactly what I'm getting. I guess we're back now. Ready? Here we go. It's a little anticlimactic when you got spoiled already. Dear parents everywhere, stop doing big gender reveal things. It's pointless, usually bad for the planet, and a bad idea. Just stop it. This has been a public service announcement. I'm not gonna let you miss the chance for a reveal party. Missed the chance. Well, at least you're not using a smoke machine. Or a waterfall, or explosives, or any of the other things the straights keep doing. Stretch and hydrate to dilute some of that salt. Makes sense. In fact, no, that's not even salt. That is entirely justified anger. There's a difference. around through the memories. I felt a kick. That was just my stomach growling. Oh, yeah. Maybe dinner first. Wait. Was that your stomach too? No. That wasn't... No. That wasn't your stomach. There's a lot of expression in the pixel art in this. It is good. Yep, still being strong in there, little guy. And seems like... Things you don't want to hear your doctor say. Is pretty high on the list. What is it? Is something wrong with the baby? No, the baby seems fine. It's just... You know, just out of precaution, let me book you a couple extra tests in the coming weeks. Instantly, is calling him Tobias another Animorphs reference? I'm feeling yes. Which, you know, I'm very much here for. Your childhood home, huh? Yeah, I wanted to take you here for a long time now. If only we lived closer to it. Better late than never. Does nobody live here now? So is this where you keep your nostalgic treasure? Well, there's always something. Oh no, they still own the house. Oh, or what? Do our parents still live here? It's unclear. I'm guessing her parents still live here. Wow, you sure read a lot as a kid. Yeah, I love to. It made me feel like I lived many different lifetimes. It's weird how I can imagine you saying that as a kid with a straight face. Huh. Little Prince. Yeah, my dad gave this to me so many years ago. It's strange how as the years went by, its story meant something different to me. Yeah, these parallels, I'm sure there are parallels, would probably mean more to me had I read the book. I have not. Hey, let's bring it back. Maybe we can read it to Toby one day. Also, just when you're thinking you're having a boy named Tobias, then continually calling him Toby with an I just sounds like you've accepted that you're going to have a trans daughter. It's inevitable. I don't think I've ever known of one Toby with an I who isn't a trans woman, so... fair. Ah, good. CPU spike while I was talking. Can we maybe not have that? Seriously, it's very annoying. It slows down the pace of this a lot, and indeed everything else. And means I spend more of my stream just complaining, and the viewers have to listen to that as well. No, that number below... There we go, thank you. Toby. And then we paint the room blue because gender norms. Henry? Yeah, I'm okay. Just... There's some really fluid animation in this when there needs to be. It's one of those where it's almost shocking when it happens. This is not good. We back in an ambulance with this lighting? Yep. And back to hospital, just like the first time. That ... there was clearly a moment of, this keeps happening, and it's weird and creepy every time. Well, she's up. Are you sure? I'm afraid so. We've run multiple scans. The development is acute and it seems to be worsening rapidly. Why now of all times?
Baby.
I mean, why now is probably because pregnancy puts all kinds of interesting stresses on the body. That, if it's dealing with a chronic, probably fatal condition, are going to be harder to deal with. The baby appears to be fine, but... Well, because we caught this so early, there is time to treat you, Larry. That's good. It's not certain, but the prognosis is decent if we start treatment immediately. Wait, start immediately?
Is that okay?
For the baby, unfortunately, no. We'd need to prematurely induce birth before starting treatment.
Induce birth, but it's too early.
I know. We have facilities to try and keep the baby alive in that case, but birth this early is often not without lasting complications.
And if we withhold my treatment until he's ready?
Then we'd miss the optimal window to help you. There should be time for the baby to continue development uninterrupted, but for you... Science fiction. Even in the best case, delayed treatment would still result in life-altering impairment. In the worst case, well...
Doctor, we need you in room 5.
I'll give you 2 a moment to think about it. I know it's difficult, but given its nature, you need to make a decision promptly. I'm sorry you have to choose.
What were we even thinking? How did I ever think this would be a good idea?
It's my fault. Yeah. Yeah. Be safe, and I'll see you around. This is a lot. Sorry to spring it on y'all. I didn't know what was coming either. I might record a content warning to add to the start of this. You wouldn't have if it weren't for me.
That's not why I... It was all like a hazy dream, you know? Travelling the world with you. Preparing for the baby.
CPU. Really? Streamlabs, you are ruining the moment. Can you not? Can you do literally anything but this? Can you even acknowledge that there's a problem here and that my stream quality is in fact not good? Okay, we're back now.
This past year, it was all so normal. I just didn't want to wake up.
You should get the treatment.
What?
I'm saying it so you don't have to.
Quincy.
I'll do my best to take care of him regardless. But you... it's the only way that you'll even be able to.
It's not fair to him.
Neither would it be for him to grow up without a mom.
That's something we should have thought of way before.
We made a mistake, okay? I made a mistake. We can't change the past, but we can still decide from this point on.
Yes.
We can't lose you. camera effect there worked very well, just kind of slow iris in on them as you have that moment, and everything, and the world you can perceive just contracts because there's only one important thing. And then we sit in the hospital corridors, and then we take her into theatre. Yeah, this is a lot. Henry. You're awake.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I feel okay.
The procedure went smoothly, Henry. We'll continue with the follow-ups, but so far you're in the clear.
The baby?
Oh. Thought that was just going to be a straight he didn't make it. He's stable right now. We need to monitor him here for another couple of months. His organs aren't fully developed and we're keeping him on ventilator. But even then, our help can only go so far. I'm not sure how he'll do as he grows up, but it won't be easy. Do your best to take care of him, okay? And then we just lived in the NICU for a while. Eventually got discharged with all of the medication. And then here we were. Got him home. Bought a pushchair. Read him the book. And kept going back to hospital for a while. Didn't finish paint. Ah, there we go. Eventually finished painting the room. And he grew up. I'm worried this is going to turn into disabled child inspiration porn. Oh, and this isn't good. But as these games keep emphasizing, the joy was important while it lasted. Birthday in the ICU. And my CPU picks the perfect time to have a moment. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to have to record a thing for this because I don't even have any trauma in this area. And woof is my takeaway. So, yeah. Please number. Please go below 20. Okay. Dipping to 19.5 as I say that, and then going back up, just suggests my computer is trolling me at this point, but here we are.
In his current condition, do you think it'd be okay to go out?
Henry.
Yeah. Okay. Dad, where are Mum and Grandpa going?
They're off to get you something real cool, so just hang on there, okay?
Okay.
Into the attic. And a basement. It is a little dusting, but it still works like new.
Can't believe how long it's been.
Let's just hope the stars haven't left, huh? Wanted to wait until he was a little older.
Why's that?
Well, you only get to see it like that for the first time once. It's nice when it can be appreciated as more than just pretty lights in the sky.
Do you still remember when you first took me stargazing?
How could I forget? I asked if you wanted to be a star or a lavender. You said you want to be a star so that
everyone else can see how lovely all the lavender are. I lied, you know. I mean, at the time it was silly, I just wanted to make you proud. But later on, though, I actually did strive to be a star.
there's a lot to be said here. I mean, there's a lot to be said here in general, but in specific, there's a lot to be said about... It's tied in with what I was saying about inspiration porn. There's a lot to be said about the burden on disabled and chronically ill people to be necessarily altruistic and self-sacrificing. Because it's kind of rooted in the societal expectation that our lives are worth less than others. So the only good, inverted commas, use for them is to live for other people. And also on mothers, yes. But I mean, this is going back to when she's a kid, so that wasn't so relevant. But yes, it's absolutely. Me rant about disability politics? Never. No, I'd rather rant about the fact that my CPU... Okay, it was only short. Or I was talking through most of it, you know.
It was never really because I wanted to. It was only because I was afraid of missing my one chance to shine. I know I'm supposed to want to strive for greatness and leave my mark, but... Is it wrong if all I really wanted to be is just another lavender?
No. I don't know about one to strive for greatness, Lynn, but... I know those who leave a mark often never set out to do so. Thought it indicated the mum was disabled? Yeah, but... Yeah, Linry is... Have not been paying attention all game. Yeah, that's fair. Linry has some unspecified, long-term, but probably eventually terminal illness since she was a kid. And this is going back to when she was a kid and what she said when her dad took her stargazing. So, while the burden on mothers to perform altruism is a thing, it was not relevant at that point to her. But they do so nevertheless, often in the most unexpected ways. And hey, if you're liking him not, you sure still left a mark on me. This accent is going places and I should rein it in. I mean, sure, it might not mean something to the whole world, but meaning the whole world to someone still counts for something, right? That's what you do to me, and as I'm sure Toby does to you. I know you still blame yourself, Linry. That won't do any good. Nobody's here forever, so all we can do is to make the most of what we're given. And that includes time. Didn't realise we were in the past. Well, we've gone through her whole life. So let's go take him to see the wonders this world still has to offer. Yes, we are in the past, relative to our current thing, but the future of where we originally went back to, because we've gone through kind of her whole life history in forward chronological order. I'll leave so that you can do a thing. Hey, how did they get before me? Did they climb through me? That's just rude. What was that? Brace yourself, everyone, I guess. Yeah. Toby, can you hear me? Please, just send someone right away. No, he's not. Dramatic rain. Like a single game where a kid's a central secondary character and isn't given a terminal illness. Yeah, it's overdone. And it does kind of tiptoe towards the edge of just grief porn, which is another subject I have ranted about at some length. I mean, I suppose this was to be expected, because if she's implied to be the person who makes the SigCorp memory machine, you don't tend to want to invent a machine to rewrite the past if you don't have some trauma you're dealing with. And we move into the residence. And ignore our phone. Productive. Great. response to trauma. Let's just subsume ourselves into our work totally. It's very healthy. And never take our husband's calls. And then climb into a machine, and then work on the machine that killed somebody that one time. Go to use this, look at my computer. And life at the Foundation is all that it is. Time passes. Hospital visits continue. Now it's winter and the data gauge is nearly full. It's that old Linry. You can tell because she's still got the hair flick. Hairstyles are the most immutable part of the human experience, we all know this. Henry, everything's ready for tomorrow's presentation. The tests all went through without a hitch.
Great work, Al. You should go get some rest. They'll be here early tomorrow.
You're still working.
Yeah, one more test never hurts.
Not gonna argue with you there. Again, the last unscheduled use of this killed a man.
Initialize.
Welcome back, Doctor. Yes, I've given it Ricepot's voice. Shut up.
System, run a stress test via artificial memory convergence.
Please choose test entity reference.
Search memories for snow. Wait, there. Go back.
And rewind and rewind. Computer chugged at an opportune moment. Let's wait until this number goes down some, because it's annoying me. We're nearly at the end of the stream anyway, I guess. But are we gonna? Yeah, there we go. Entity selection confirmed. Keep personality and traits.
Yes.
Keep extrapolated memories.
No. Use generic memories.
Please select memory setting for artificial insertion.
doesn't matter. Choose one for me.
Memory loaded. Visit at Hugh Haynes' estate.
That's fine.
Initiating foreign entity to memory setting. Entity activation in 3, 2, 1. And that's how we got it. We got all the data, and it's making my computer struggle. So much data. Just so much. Yeah, wow, that number's even higher than usual. That's not good. And my bitrate is dropping. Okay, no, 35 is just a ridiculous number. Stop it, Streamlabs. Oh, now it's so bad it's even making audio tearing happen. Okay, we're back now. This is really annoying.
So, you've reached the end.
Are you actually...
I know you have more questions, but I have an urgent theory that needs your help testing. Would you come back to the mansion with me?
I don't really have a choice, do I?
Downstairs. What is it?
I mean, what isn't it? But... for one, I guess I'm still trying to get used to this being the real you. Hey, I didn't mean that in a bad way. And even then, why would you care about what I think anyway?
Downstairs.
And we will go downstairs. Next time. Because that has taken us up to 5 o'clock. I told you that data gauge was going to be the whole episode. We still only have Quincy in our party. Will we ever have other people in our party? I don't know. I don't know how long this game is, how much there is left. But generally, woof. I feel like the hyper-emotional bits came later in the other games. Jeez. Oh, so that's been a thing. I can only apologise for the whole CPU problems. I am continuing to try and find ways to fix this, trust me. But we'll see how it goes. That's a lot to think about. Yeah, I am gonna go back and put a content warning on this. But first, for now, let's do the wrap-up. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks if you stayed to the end. It means a lot. And no judgment if you didn't stay to the end. That was a lot. If you've been watching, you know where to find me. But just in case... Sorry, this is what happens when people tell me to stretch during the wrap-up. Just in case, this is twitch.tv/Serasent. That's S-E-R-A-S-E-N-T. The House of Hubris. Streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 2 PM British time. That is 9 AM Eastern, 6 Pacific. Other time zones are available. No wrap-up, only self-care. Get you a girl who can do both. And yeah, if you want to know when I am live, in case anything changes, then throw us a follow. Always very much appreciated. And lets you know whenever I'm around. If you do miss anything, the VODs are on the channel for 8 weeks after the fact. For everything else, you can go back to... you can go to the YouTube. Link is down there. It says VOD Archive. Click it, you can get videos all the way back to the very start of the channel, which is nearly 2 years ago. Imagine even being able to do self-care. Yeah, no, that get you a girl who can do both when explicitly told to do one. I don't do that for myself. Oh, maybe that's why they call it that. Anyway, words. Yeah, while you're on the YouTube, why not throw us a subscription on there? Subscribing on the YouTube doesn't cost you anything, gets me closer to having a URL I can say, and shut up, Emily, but not. Gets me closer to being able to say the URL, and also, more importantly, means you get hot, fresh VODs in your subscription feed every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, the Twitter link is also down there, just in case. That is, for the record, if anybody's been watching before, the Twitter has changed. I finally changed it to a brand thing, so it is now Twitter at House of Hubris. That's HOUSEOFHUBRIS. It's on my title cards. Yeah, it's easy enough to find. So yeah, check that out for memes and me shouting about the world and whatever other projects I'm involved in, which currently is none. The only thing coming up is, if you watched our Numenera campaign over on the Hype Goblin, next Saturday, that is the 15th. Ooh, CPU lag while I'm doing this, so it's not just while the RPG Maker's doing things. That's interesting. Yeah. Next Saturday, 15th of October, at 10:30 British time, that is 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, other time zones, etc., etc. You can, again, on twitch.tv/thehypegoblin, that's THEHYPEGOBLIN, we are doing a Q&A on the whole first season of Numenera, and mostly just hanging out and chatting. And talking about all of our whole deals, I guess. So come and check that out. I don't think we've got anything else on. Did I miss anything? Oh, yes, if you feel like me getting extremely emotional on main is worth your financial support, you can cheer or subscribe on the Twitch, but of course very much not necessary. Just turn up and hang out and be chill and be good to each other, and then everybody's having a good time. I'm pretty sure that's all the things I normally say, so now I'm going to stop saying things and go away. This has been so much. Okay. Love you all. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you again on Thursday, when there will probably be even more of a lot. Alright. Love you all. See you later. Bye.